Yo, welcome back to another Tuesday episode of Shop Talk. You know, I'll just go with that. Shop Talk for now. Jay, how you doing, my guy?
Great, man. Great. Today's a beautiful day.
Hey, I got to tell you something, to be straight
What's
up.
up?
I have yet to see the new Spider-Man.
Okay, so how do we change that, Leo?
My Fire Stick that may or may not be jailbroken needs to have that full 4K stream cuz I'm not messing with the 720, for this movie. I
Right.
I could do it if it's like a TV show or whatever, because some TV shows may come up 720. Like, that's fine. It's one episode, 30, 40, 50 minutes, whatever. But I feel like this Spider-Man, you got to get that true experience. And you know what? I wasn't really going to take my newborn to the movies to go see it because it might ruin everybody else's experience. So I'm just, waiting for that Fire Stick
I
that
don't
may
but
or
I don't know
may
how many
not
people
be jailbroken.
I don't know how many people are going to be in the movies right now if that movie is still available for you to see. So,
Are you kidding me? It was for like a month in. It was the 2 p.m. or 2 in the morning, so 2 a.m. showings were sold out still.
yeah. Damn,
Wild.
that's crazy. DJ Reed
Um,
back to the yeah. Leo would love
let's
DJ
talk about
Reed.
it. Should we talk about it?
Leo would love DJ Reed coming back to San Francisco because then we can mend old wounds. We can let bygones be bygones. And you know what? Just let DJ read that it's all water near a bridge. And I know that that's not the real saying. I hope you guys get that I'm joking with that. But yeah, and Leo, if for the people that don't know, let's fill them in on why I'm so excited about the prospect of this.
So basically, when he got cut by the 49ers, so before the 2020 season, DJ Reed went to the Seattle Seahawks, and we had a segment on Grant Cohn's live show. And Grant Cohn wanted to go ahead and ask the question, basically, did the 49ers mess up, or will they regret releasing DJ Reed, since it was an IR stint? We've seen plenty of fucking Jerick McKinnon go on IR for like 3 straight years, and
Whoa, 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 whoa!
49ers were cool with it. I know that's your
Watch your,
QB1,
watch
but
it,
like, let's
watch your
keep it
mouth,
G.
watch your mouth,
They kept Jerick McKinnon, but yet DJ Reed, you just let
watch your
this
mouth.
guy go that had basically, it would have been a year and a half of rookie contract services. And just based on that, we didn't see the guy too often with the 49ers. And if he was in on defense, those typically blowout games. Um, and he didn't really make any plays on defense, essentially, when he did have his time. So I said, no, the 49ers wouldn't miss him. And in fact, it may benefit the 49ers offense if he's out there on the field for the Seattle Seahawks defense. Well, I looked like a complete bozo once DJ Reed actually cut that clip and posted it on his social media platform, so Twitter, Instagram, and it was, big bozo Leo on there saying, "Oh, the 49ers are, they're going to benefit if they want to, throw at DJ Reed." And that wasn't necessarily the case. I remember his first game against the 49ers in Seattle, 2020 season. He got the interception on Jimmy Garoppolo, and that was like the complete downfall. I want to say that was the same drive of Jerick McKinnon's Wildcat. I want to say that was the same drive.
No, because that was on 3rd and 1, and I don't think they went for it on fourth.
Are we sure that wasn't the fourth down play?
The pick might have been.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that might be it.
I feel like that was the same territory. Um, but other than that, like, we've seen Brandon Ayuk route the guy up and when he wasn't targeted his way and stuff. But if 49ers want to bring him back, I don't expect, a bag, bags to be delivered essentially to sign a DJ Reed type player. To me, he's a solid B minus type of addition. And if you could get a B minus addition in free agency, do it. Do it, because you create competition. Um, this team once saw him as a nickel cornerback for K'Wan Williams. He was actually his backup to KK. If KK had to leave games, then DJ Reed came in and played that nickel corner role. So whether it's an open competition for cornerback two, because I do not expect DJ Reed to take cornerback one over Emmanuel Mosley flat out Emmanuel Mosley is a better corner than DJ Reed
or Jason Verrett. Oh, did I spoil that?
or Jason. As you will say in Mexico is Tocayo. You're Tocayo because your name's Jason. His name's Jason. So he's not going to compete with either a healthy Verrett or an Emmanuel Mosley. So that's even if they bring back Verrett, obviously, in that scenario. But if he loses the job to Thomas, well, guess what? You have your starting nickel in that same edition. So it's kind of that signing that it's like, okay, there's a spot for him somewhere. We just don't know if it's going to be at nickel or if it's going to be at outside. So it benefits the team absolutely because I don't think KK is going to come back. And if he does, how much is it going to cost? How much is he going to be available on Sundays as well? I think that's a big thing. He was relatively healthy this year, but you could probably chalk up one missed game for KK every year. As he gets older, does that one game turn into 2, 3, or 4? It's a tough sport. Like, I'm not trying to be critical about it. I can't imagine what my body would feel like if I was an NFL player. My body aches now, and I tapped out in college. So I can't imagine being in the NFL and having, waking up at 30 something years old and my knees, like, it's cold right now in San Diego. It's not all sunshine, and
define cold.
Gnarly, dude. Like, it's not all like that here in San Diego.
Define cold.
Let me see. Siri, what's the temperature? 55 with showers.
Oh,
look at that.
No.
Come on.
My God, 55 with showers.
Yes.
Oh, Leo, how do you do it, man? Look, I just want to say thoughts and prayers, because it's 57 over here right now, and we're acting like it's summer. Stop it, man. Will you stop it in California?
So it's warmer.
It's warmer. It's warmer. Will y'all grow up in California? Will y'all start to man up a little bit? Goodness gracious.
Wow.
55? You wouldn't last 2 months.
Wow.
You wouldn't last 2 months over here on this side. Y'all are soft. What happened? 55?
Hey, don't act like I'm the Los Angeles Rams out here. Don't call me soft. I'm not the Los Angeles Rams, man.
Cold. Got it.
They lucky they played a finesse team in the Super Bowl. But what's your thoughts on 49ers bringing back DJ Reed? I talked a little bit about it.
No, I like it. I mean, obviously natural fit, and as you said, if there is something that's going on with with KK, DJ Reed can step right in and immediately be the slot guy. How much does that impact Lenoir? That's fine, but it goes back to the philosophy of draft picks, known commodities. Do you feel better about DJ Reed stepping in immediately than you do with Lenoir, and what do you expect from him going forward? So I wouldn't be against it, and you're right, it wouldn't cost him much. So I'm not against it. Again, I would love for him to come back so we can mend this relationship. Start to hey, got off on the wrong foot. Let's get back on the right foot, and let's win some ball games. So yeah, I'm with the DJ Reed.
I'm gonna play that video. I'm downloading it. Downloading it right now.
So real quick while he's looking for it, make sure you like this video, subscribe to both channels, hit the notification bell on both our channels as well too. I have also, for anybody who's watching on my channel, opened up the membership portion of it, so you can join the Spicy Squad, which gives you new emojis, and it'll give you precedence in the comments because you guys would be in one of the levels. So yeah, if you guys haven't, there's a video right there that says on the video it says join. Hit that, join the Spicy Squad. Make sure that you get your comments aired and everything as well too. Shout out to everybody who has joined so far. Appreciate all of you.
I love that name, Spicy Squad.
Yeah, I stole it from Brad. Sourdough Squad, Spicy Squad, right? Spicy Aponte. So
I like spicy better. Like sourdough, it's
But yeah, Brad's dad is Sourdough Sam, right? Like that's his dad.
True. That's true. So that's actually on his birth certificate. Brad is. Yes. So it's Brad Sourdough Graham.
DJ Reed was a big loss for the 49ers.
No, they won't miss him at all. It's fine. And if Seattle does decide to play him at nickel cornerback, that's good for the 49ers offense.
Oh, to go crazy.
Say you my nigga, I'm gonna be your killer. Nobody gonna play with you when I'm with you.
Own that bozo.
Hey, hold up.
Own that bozo.
And Super Gremlin?
Yeah, I know. So that song don't hit the same for me as everybody else. It don't hit the same for me.
And Super Gremlin? Come on, DJ Reed. We got to fix this. Come on home.
Hugh, man, 38 degrees. Like, I don't even see that, through the night, middle of the night. So, Bear, Bala got 52 in Berkeley. Not showing off.
Not sad.
50,
not sad.
55 is unacceptable. I'm going to hit the hot tub.
I'm going to need you guys to grow up.
Nah.
Bro,
so,
it's going to be 60 tomorrow on the East Coast. We out here vibing. I'm about to run outside in a tank top.
My guy going to be in tank top and shorts. 60 degrees. Yes. Imagine that. 60 degrees and no baseball. What a fake sport.
We outside. Yeah, I'm tired of this fake sports, man.
Let's talk about it. Let everyone sleep on Trey. They'll find out soon enough. So why do you think everyone, I guess national media or I could say anyone on the outside, including Joe Montana, because that guy's not close to the team. He doesn't do anything for the 49ers. He's not in media like, say, Steve Young is in media. Jerry Rice is close to the team. So those guys, I would hold what they say a little more to the vest than what a Joe Montana is. Just, it's kind of like having a conversation with an uncle that doesn't really, pay attention to what's going on in today's NFL. So just general media, former players, whatever it is, Booger McFarland's the latest out there. And I don't know how the guy's still employed by ESPN. It blows my mind. It's probably the biggest heist in America at the moment. Like, why do you think the media is just out to go get Trey Lance? Like, we've heard it on Good Morning Football. Just everyone just wants to say he's not ready. Like, why do you think this is becoming the general conclusion for outside people?
It's lazy, and they don't watch the 49ers. They don't understand what he did in those games. It's very lazy. Let me paint you a picture, right? On First Take, Stephen A. Smith is giving opinions on every single sport. I'm going to say this. It is absolutely impossible to be informed on every single sport. Absolutely. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you, bro. Eric's the name, bro. It is absolutely insane and impossible to be informed on all sports. Check this out. Let me explain. I don't watch basketball, so I don't give basketball opinions. I watch the Yankees. I don't give baseball opinions, right? I don't know about those other things. But what gets me upset is that most of these people are just football analysts at all. Like, this is it, right? This is all you do. Mm-hmm. And you still, when you speak, let us know that you don't know what's going on with this team and you haven't watched the games at all. You've watched either the highlights, you haven't sat there, watched the games at all. That's the part that bothers me. When Stephen A. Smith says something about football, it's like, okay, bro, we know you're just like shooting off of the hip or whatever, like, and you're just like making stuff up as you go along for entertainment value. I get that. Booger McFarland, Ryan Clark, all these dudes, first of all, y'all are former players. So I expect more. And second of all, I expect you to do more in terms of it. All you do is football analyst stuff. That's it. This is all you do. This is your job. Imagine being so bad at your job that you haven't fully watched the game, watched the tape, seen all of those things for you to perpetuate the same narrative that everybody else is. It's lazy. It's not good. And it's not good analysis, anything like that. I get it. They're on TV. They're former players. I'm just some guy, bunch of Batman stuff. Get it. But I watch everyone. And that's only because I am a degenerate fantasy football player. But at the same time, I still have a very good grasp on what's going on with many teams, their depth charts, how they run things. And if I don't know, I'm going to say I don't know. My point is that because of, the way that people, if you join it, there should be, when you're looking at the video, it should say join on there. I believe if you're on the desktop, if somebody else, Eric just joined, if you could like run him through it real quick in the comments, let him know. But it's just funny to me, man. This is your job, and you still can't figure it out in the right way. It's one thing for a fan to say something like that, because then you take it and you're just like, yeah, right? Like, because today Ryan Clark was like, oh, if it's Jimmy G or Mason Rudolph, sign me up for Jimmy G. Hooray. It's funny how things change. That was the way you should have been viewing it the entire time. Yep. Jimmy G is an absolute upgrade over Mason Rudolph. So you see what I'm talking about? These guys, right? They're on TV for an hour. What are you doing with your 23 hours after that? like, do you go? Do you watch anything? Or are you just like going home and just saying, hey, great job, Ryan. Great job, Booger. You know, I'm done for the day. Now I'm going to kick my feet up and watch a bunch of stuff. Go ahead.
Real quick, it's like, are they just being handed sheets from interns? Because we've seen Keyshawn Johnson have a conversation with Mina Kimes, who, wherever you stand with Mina Kimes, I think she's fantastic at what she does.
She works.
And because she works, she understands beyond the numbers. And she was having a conversation with Keyshawn Johnson. This was during the season about Jimmy G's, not this Lord and Savior, essentially. And Keyshawn Johnson was, look at his win-loss percent. Look at it. Look at, Kyle Shanahan when he doesn't have Jimmy Garoppolo out there. It's like, bro, is that all? Like, you're a former player, former Pro Bowler, former first-round pick. And Mina Kimes is in her bag in a conversation about football. Again, to you. So once again, do you watch the 49ers games? And it relates to a lot of these other guys. Like, I'm not trying to throw Jimmy Garoppolo under the bus or anything. No. I'm just saying, it's when you're capping off a win-loss record without zero context, how do I expect you not to cap on Trey Lance if you haven't seen anything of them? Right. Anything. Legit, nothing.
And it goes back to what we're talking about, right? Players, their opinion should be valued higher, right? Because they played the game. Okay? That's fine. I can say that in one breath and say what I'm about to say in the second one. You still aren't the end-all, be-all. Just because you played, there's plenty. Look, all right. Here's an example. Patrick Willis. We all love him. Okay? On Twitter, he was asked, why wouldn't Aaron Rodgers be a fit for the San Francisco 49ers? And he said, oh, it's just a completely different scheme and he wouldn't know what to do, in San Francisco.
That's probably why he didn't make the Pro Bowl this year, to be honest.
Patrick Willis, different scheme. I had someone under the tweet me and say, but Jason Aponte says that the Packers run exactly what Kyle Shanahan. You starting to see what I'm talking about? Yeah. No disrespect to Patrick Willis, who is a great. But if you don't know that LaFleur is running some variation of Shanahan's system with his own little twist on it, we're too far gone with players' opinions. Fact. Absolute fact. Okay, guys? In one breath, you can say that Patrick Willis absolutely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But that doesn't exclude you from being responsible for knowing. And it's something simple. Every single person who's watched the game knows. Shanahan, McVay, LaFleur. What are we doing here, man? What are we doing here with these players' opinions? Why don't you know? That's a bad sign. That's a very bad sign. So again, should you value the player's opinion over mine and Leo's? Sure. Is it gold? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's the point. Even Joe Montana, same thing, bro. Same thing. I get it. Value his opinion over mine.
Didn't he say before the season started the 49ers need to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo?
No, that they gave Jimmy Garoppolo the bag too early, and he didn't understand that at all.
Yes.
Oh, but see how things switch?
And now he's saying stick with Jimmy Garoppolo. That Trey Lance isn't ready. Guess what? It's February. I got people in my comments on Twitter that don't even follow me. Stop talking about football. Learn, start watching other sports. Football starts in 6 months. Okay, then I don't want to hear about Trey Lance isn't ready because guess what? He doesn't have to be ready until 6 months from now. And this is what Javi said on our show yesterday. Shameless plug. Niners Nation just, released a new episode today of the Oh Hey There podcast. And he said, what is ready? Basically, define ready. Is ready in terms of winning a Super Bowl, winning a division, winning a playoff game on the road, being an NFL starting quarter. Like, what is the definition of ready that these people are just throwing out there? They're just saying ready with zero context behind it. They're just saying ready.
And no one can quantify what ready means. That's why when people ask me, is Trey Lance ready? I don't know. And he doesn't need to be ready on February 22nd. He needs to be ready when the pads go on in with training camp. And does that even mean he's ready then? No. Like, again, just because someone's played this game doesn't mean that they're but Kali, here's the thing, man. He doesn't need to watch the Packers to know that Matt LaFleur cut his teeth under Kyle Shanahan and that he runs the same offense and that literally 32 offenses in this league run something that Shanahan has put out there. Something. Whether you're grafting the whole playbook, whether you're using pre-snap motion, whether you're using fullbacks, someone is using Shanahan's stuff. It is across 32 leagues. That's it. I'm not ready to get out of bed, but I do it every day. No, that works. You're not ready until you're forced to be ready. But that's my point, man. It's like, again, we get wrapped up. Patrick Willis, Hall of Famer. Absolute, one of the best players I've ever seen play. One of my favorite players of all time. But for him to say that in a tweet, that bothered me so much because that person was like, oh, but see, like the person thought he was dunking on me. Mm-hmm. And literally, I wanted to quote tweet him and say, you just owned yourself because you and Patrick Willis don't get it.
So I have an analogy for you. It's not necessarily getting out of bed. You're a father. I'm a father. So
I'm somebody's zaddy.
Yeah, zaddy. Somebody's zaddy. So before Averly was born, everyone was telling you, Jason, are you ready?
Nope.
Are you ready? And the answer was probably no. And then as soon as Averly was born and you have her in your arms and you take her home and all of a sudden, you know, you learn on the job and it kicks in. And now you're out there having your pizza rituals. She's watching film, telling you that Snoopy is, you know, her diamond in the rough for this draft. And you read to her, we've had conversations about being father, and you're a great father in that. And what was the best way for you to be definition of ready in her presence?
Working.
Correct.
Like you got to just keep, like, you get it, like, get experience on the job.
Yes.
I wasn't always the best.
As long as you're passionate about it, you want to improve, you want to be the best, guess what? It's going to click. Obviously, becoming an NFL quarterback is a lot more difficult than being a father. I acknowledge that.
Maybe. On Sundays it is, man, but they don't got to work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or anything like that, man. I don't know, bro.
Are you sure? If they post a video about them, you know, hanging out or something,
nah,
are
man,
you sure they're not going to have any comments saying get back to work?
Look, I'm on the side that the two hardest things to do in sports is play NFL quarterback and be a Major League Baseball player who has to hit. But ain't nothing harder than being a father. I don't want to hear that. Zaddy, chill. Yo, Carl, chill, man. We just vibing right now. That's it, man. It's nice out. I don't know how to act.
It's, you know,
I haven't
seen 60 in like 60 months.
Yeah, for Leo it's cold. For me, it's acting up weather. Like, that's what's funny. You see how things work, like, on both sides of the coast.
This is shout out to you, Niner by Nature 88. It's, you know,
he's always on love, man.
Yeah, you went to Iraq when you were 18 years old. Trey will be fine. Yeah, and it's, you know, I'm sure you could relate that to yourself. Were you ready? Were you prepared to go to Iraq before you went out there? I'm not sure. Mentally, you know, it might have been a challenge to mentally prepare yourself for that. But once you're out there, you're obviously here with us today. Yeah, I believe Trey will be fine as well. To me, he's shown enough to where I think he'll be good. And we'll just see. Like, obviously, I can't tell the future. I can't say, oh yeah, Trey Lance is going to go do XYZ next season. But the way the national media is capping on Trey Lance, like, I think it just shows what he can be as a player. It shows because do you think they're not having this conversation about Zach Wilson? They're not even putting the guy out there, and the dude's in New York media. That just shows you what this franchise is at the moment. Everybody wants a narrative. Everybody wants to comment on them. They want to comment on the quarterback situation. They want to have a voice on this,
and
because the 49ers are that guy right now in terms of the NFC, the NFL. They're that guy. They're the I'm him type of franchise right now compared to the New York Giants. They're not there, or excuse me, Jets. They're not there. They don't want to talk about Jacksonville Jags. Think they want to talk about Trevor Lawrence with Doug Peterson right now? No. You think they're going to talk about Houston, Texas, and Davis Mills? No.
Poor Lovie Smith.
Mac Jones is cool, but the dude's vanilla. Like, they want to talk about someone with some sprinkles on it at least, and that's Trey Lance. The Bears, I like. I'm still a Justin Fields fan.
I was about to say, make sure choose your words wisely here.
Yeah. Don't get out of pocket, Leo. I got you. Okay. And I'm still Justin Fields fans, but it's the Bears. They're not relevant right now. So the most relevant franchise with this young QB are the 49ers. So a lot of these narratives are going to either be from right field or left field. They're either going to be in pocket or out of pocket. So that's just something we have to get used to as fans, as content creators, that when your franchise is at that level with the quarterback that can potentially be at that level, be prepared for those conversations. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Someone on ESPN, I don't remember who, said Patrick Mahomes wasn't a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. So as long as this team is having success, that those crazy narratives are always going to be out there as long as this team has success. Guess what? Because when this team wasn't good, they weren't doing segments on ESPN. Hell no, they weren't. They weren't talking about Jeremy Curley, Blaine Gabbert. No. Maybe pregame. That's about it. But, that's just where we are as a franchise. We're a contender in the NFC, and we have a young 3rd overall pick at quarterback. So, yes, be prepared for more other people than Booger McFarland to come forward and say something out of pocket. This won't be the last time. If he's good, it's still not going to be the last time.
And it just bothers me that guys who get paid to break down the NFL only, right? Like Colin Cowherd has to talk about every single sport on his show for 3 hours. That's why there's a talent in what he does, because no matter what, you can hate his takes, but every day, 3 hours on that show. Then he goes and does another podcast. There's a talent. There's a talent to that. Doesn't mean that you should listen to his takes. I'm trying to tell you the difference between entertainment and analysis. That's the problem, right? Mm-hmm. And what gets me upset is you guys are in the spot that I want to be in. And if I was in your spot, I'd know everything about everybody because that's my job. Because I'd be in the ESPN campus saying, pull up this team's film, pull up this team's film. I want to know more. I want to learn as much as I can. That's what makes football the most beautiful game, in my opinion, right? No matter what you learn about scheme, film, how things are run, there's still more to learn. Always. There's always something more to learn because guys always put different wrinkles on everything. That's why I buy books, try to read them, and try to do. And I'm doing this as a guy who is just doing it from his home and is not being paid to do this, right? So imagine if you gave me a bag and said, now take care of your family and give us your analysis, I would take it all the way to the top. That's the part that bothers me a little bit. Like, what do you do when you go home? Do you kick up your feet and turn on Ozark or whatever show is on? Or do you like get in there and you keep working? Or are you just getting by because you have an NFL player reputation? That's the part that bothers me. Now, because you're an NFL player, people are going to listen to you over me and any Joe Schmo, but that doesn't make it golden. And I think that's the point that I want to talk to everybody about. Booger McFarland was not at one day in camp. Not one day in camp. I was. Me. I spent my own money, and I went, and I was there for 2 weeks because I wanted to see. You about to tell me that he knows more than me in terms of how Trey Lance moved and how he was never there? I don't want to hear it. And that's not me flexing on anybody. It's the facts. We put in work. We went to camp. We went and covered the Chargers the Chargers practices. We did all of that by ourselves. Booger McFarland wasn't there. Ryan Clark wasn't there. Nobody was there. So don't tell me that you know more about this team than we do or other people, right? Like, that's the part that bothers me more than anything is that the equity that they have built being former players supersedes the people that are actually putting in work. I guess that's my rant about it.
I get it's like for those national people, you know who watches film, who doesn't.
Right. NFL matchup. If I implore anybody to watch any sort of show on any other network or anything like that, obviously cut the check. NFL matchup is buried at 3:30 in the morning or whatever. But that's the one you need to watch because those guys understand stuff and they've watched everybody. So that's the best way I can put it, man. Everybody else, that's all that hot takes bullshit. All of it.
Yeah. I really like Brian Baldinger, like his videos that he posts out there. There's some guys.
Baldy watches everybody. I get it.
Yeah, he watches everybody. It's insane. There was something So did Trey look better than Jimmy? You were at more practices than I was. I have my opinion, but you was there for a significant time more than I was.
Okay. Look, Jimmy was Jimmy. And I think that's what people don't get. Jimmy didn't do anything in this camp that was any different from anything you saw from Jimmy Garoppolo. Some really nice throws, some really head-scratching throws. and at the end of the day, I didn't walk away like he's improving or he's gotten worse.
Mm-hmm.
I literally walked away from camp saying Jimmy was Jimmy.
Right.
In camp with Trey, early on, he was hitting throws that were not there. Jimmy Garoppolo is not in the bag, anything like that. And it's really funny. The data NFL Network pulled up, which was, I believe, day 4 of camp. All of a sudden, Kyle unleashed zone read. And Trey tore up the defense that entire day on zone read. Those guys were running around with their heads spinning. He was gaining 10. Elijah Mitchell was gaining 12. Anybody that so when people say, was it a competition? It wasn't, because they had it predetermined in their mind that it was going to be Jimmy. But if you listen to Jay Glazer, a lot of what Trey did throughout camp, and it's true, put pressure on him. I remember one certain conversation I had, and it was the day that Middlecoff was there. And, I got to kick it with Guy, and then I called Croc after. And remember, I don't know if you guys remember Middlecoff. He sent the Vince Carter gift.
Yes.
He was like, it's over. It's over. And I remember talking with Guy, and I'm like, how can you go with this guy after what you're just seeing right now? And, Guy's always level-headed, and he talked about, locker room, all that stuff. Made some very good points. Talked to Croc. Croc was saying the same thing. He's just like, bro, he's like, from everything you're telling me, how can you look at everybody in here? But there's more to who's playing better than that. And there's a big human element in the NFL that I feel like this season I learned in terms of losing a locker room, in terms of losing your core guys. And I think Kyle Shanahan learned a lot this year as well, too. But now, hopefully, this year, because Trey is going to be the starter, none of that matters anymore because everybody has to get on board. The spreadsheet told you different, though.
See, I get this narrative. No team is going to trade for Jimmy when you could sign him for $15 million when we cut him. The thing is,
I'm not cutting him if that was Jimmy.
You trade him, you're guaranteed that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be your quarterback. You restructure a deal or extend him for say 2-3 years, whatever it may be, to lower his cap hit. You wait for him to be cut. There is absolutely no guarantee that he ends up on your team.
Right.
And you could end up being in a bidding war. Who knows? Maybe that 15 number turns into 16, 17, 18, more than you thought it would be. A lot of these teams, they're going to be desperate. They don't want to be the team left at the altar. And two of those teams, more than others, Pittsburgh Steelers and the Washington Commanders.
Say it
I plead that the Commanders take command and give up, I believe it's the 42nd pick in the NFL draft or 41st pick, somewhere around there in the low 40s. That's their second round pick. I plead that they give up to him. They have a head coach that needs to win now. They've shown in the past that they're not afraid to go with a veteran quarterback rather than trying to start fresh with a young guy. That's why someone's going to trade for him, is they want to guarantee basically a chance at the dance with Jimmy Garoppolo. If he hits the free agency, he's going to be on the dance floor with plenty of other suitors, and you may not be the one be able to have the dance with him. So those teams, like I said, Pittsburgh and even Denver now. Denver, Pittsburgh, and Washington are going to be pretty desperate.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I don't know how this would go, right? Let's just say nobody wants Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Nobody wants him. But I'm not cutting Jimmy Garoppolo for the sake of that, because someone will make a desperation play halfway through the season. Mm-hmm. Oh, let's go. You know the vibes, Domo. My daughter loves this shirt, man. Anytime I put it on, she walks up and she points and she loves it. So, but I would hold him And I don't know how this works out. Like, do you start Jimmy? Do you start Trey? I don't know how that works out. But I'm not cutting Jimmy Garoppolo for nothing. There's no way that I'm doing that, especially after we start to figure out where guys are landing. Like, who knows what the hell Aaron Rodgers was talking about? It sounds like he was in his cup last night talking to Waukesha before he sent that out. Like, I mean, just like it didn't. None of that stuff like sounded like a retirement thing. It just felt confusing. So a lot of this stuff has to play out. And then when a quarterback goes down in training camp, a quarterback goes down in week 1, and now, or like let's just say Washington says run it back with Fitz. Fitz tears his ACL or something like that. God forbid, because I don't want that. And they realize they don't want to go with Taylor Heineke. Well, Jimmy Garoppolo's there to be had for like a second-round pick. Do it, right? Like, so that's the thing. Is like you just can't cut Jimmy. Like, you just can't do that. If you do that, then you basically lose out on a golden opportunity with a weak NFL draft QB class and a weak free agent class to cash in on some sort of draft capital. And I think that's where I'm at with it right now.
I saw a comment before we started the show. Does Kyle Shanahan need to win a Super Bowl? With basically getting there, losing out in the fourth quarter, getting to the NFC Championship, and losing out to the then Super Bowl champions. Will Jed York accept, say, a competitive advantage? As long as you stay competitive, you're in the dance every year. Stay relative to the moment. Or is Jed York going to basically eventually say, Kyle Shanahan, you need a ring? And then Kyle Shanahan would be out on his own terms or not on his own terms. Do you think Kyle Shanahan has to win a ring in order to prolong this relationship with the 49ers?
No, but he needed this season to keep that discussion tabled. That's why he did what he did in terms of starting Jimmy. He needed to have another one of these seasons where they had a deep playoff run and got as close as they did to quiet all of that. It wouldn't have meant that he was fired if they didn't, but it meant that Jed York was like, I'll let you draft this guy, but we're not tanking this year. So what are you going to do about it? And that's why he felt so much pressure to play him on top of what was going on with the human element with the team that we talked about. And who could argue, who could complain with how far the 49ers got. Kyle Shanahan heard the whispers. Was 2019 the exception to the rule, right? Can you do it again? And I think he needed to. And for that built him now this time with Trey Lance, because now people will be cool with it because he's shown at least a track record in 2 of 3 years of being very successful with the team and moving them in that direction. So, no, I don't think that he needs to win a ring. Denise York is not letting that happen right now because if she lets Jed pick, Jed's gonna like try to trade for Cliff Kingsbury or something like that, like something crazy like that. So
let's talk about this. McCaffrey, Jimmy for McCaffrey. I saw Grant did something about McCaffrey, did an article or something about it. Yes or no?
No.
Whether it's Jimmy's not involved or not, like that doesn't matter. Yes or no on McCaffrey?
I don't think so. No. He costs too much. He's been injured 2 straight years, and for what? Look what you just got from Elijah Mitchell. Raheem Mostert can come back. You can probably draft another running back and keep it going. No. It doesn't make sense. Getting Jimmy for a known commodity is a first, but not a running back. Like if you could in some world trade Jimmy Garoppolo for like JC Jackson, then it's a done deal. Like you're like, make it happen, do it. Like, in that way. But I'm not trading him for a running back.
My answer is what Nate commented here. Jimmy for Gilmore. Carolina could keep C-Mac. Absolutely. It's this team don't need Christian McCaffrey. The dude has a high salary cap hit. Years, not just it's not like it's a 1-year deal expiring contract. No, it's a high cap hit for years. But it does, to me, it doesn't make any sense to go get Christian McCaffrey. I would personally, if you want another running back in there, it's retain Raheem Mostert, retain him. If not, there may be some other guys out there. I think Dearness Johnson
I love it.
from the Browns. I don't know what his status is, whether it's a restricted or early rights for restricted free agent. I know he's out on the market somehow, some way. There's other guys out there. Chase Edmonds, he's a nice little change of pace back. Pretty good receiver out of the backfield from Arizona. So there's some guys out there that can be bought for cheap without giving up draft capital. There is no way I'm losing essentially draft capital to go get Christian McCaffrey, who won. The injury history is a big concern. But there's no way I'm paying above $10 million for a running back for the foreseeable future. Nate also said Lance, Mitchell, Deeble, Mostert running game can be nuts. Pause if needed.
Trey Sermon also, he's on this team, I think.
Trey Sermon as well. I think a lot of us do forget about him because we live in the moment, and he wasn't there in the moment. And I think he can be something special. Remember, he ran this style of offense with Kyler Murray at Oklahoma and Justin Fields at Ohio State. If there's any way for him to feel comfortable, it would be with this read option, quarterback, gap scheme, with Trey Lance than it would have ever been for Jimmy Garoppolo. And it's okay to invest in your draft picks, right? Like, they don't have to start day one. It's okay to protect your investment. That's why people do investments that don't hit until like year 10, and all of a sudden they're rich and buying a house. So that's kind of where you look at with these free agents from this past year. Or free agents, draft picks. It's okay for them to be starters in year 2, not year 1. It's completely fine.
And Anthony Lynn coming in is a big sign that Trey Sermon is going to be involved, because they're going to run inside a lot more. And I think that's the wrinkle that Anthony Lynn is going to provide too. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of a position player, a known commodity, I'm with you, but not a running back, especially not that running back.
No, man.
No.
Jimmy G to the Broncos. So we're talking about a pick and a player for a pick and Michael Moutier.
Close enough.
I know. Close enough. And Michael O, cornerback. He came from Iowa. I know who he is. I just struggle saying the name sometimes. Done deal. I know Michael O was frustrated with the Broncos because I think there was a stint where he was inactive on game days. They were flooded with cornerbacks. So I don't know if it's someone that they actually like and want to keep, or if it's someone that they're open to moving. It depends. How much are you losing in that draft pick? Do you have a chance for a second round pick and no Michael O? Or if you want Michael O, it's only going to be like a 4th. My personal opinion, give me the second straight up with no player.
Mm-hmm. And if it's going to be a lower end player, then you got to throw in a pick. But if it's going to be a higher end, look, I'm just saying this as a name. Obviously, this would never happen. Like, if the Broncos were like Jimmy for Surtain straight up, pack Jimmy up and send his ass over there and immediately, right? Because it's Patrick Surtain. Mm-hmm. But if it's a lower end player, then you got to throw in a pick as well too. And that's why I think people get lost with the whole, well, how valuable is Jimmy? That valuable, a player and a pick. So that's how valuable he could be. So
we got a lot of trade talks here. So JC Jackson. So a trade for JC Jackson would work in a tag situation because he can be tagged. Sign and trade. Because that can be done. Yes, he's a free agent, but there's ways to where the Patriots can get more out of it. I don't think the Patriots have interest for Jimmy Garoppolo at this point. I don't. You had Mac Jones, Pro Bowl alternate. He wasn't a Pro Bowler. You had Mac Jones that at least kept that team relevant, winning record. He did have a lack of receivers, so if you give him more weapons on the outside, maybe he can orchestrate in an NFL offense is basically what I'm trying to say here. He can orchestrate an NFL offense. Like, they're fine with Mac Jones. They don't need to necessarily go out and go trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. Drake Greenlaw will be a cool get, but it's just, if you're putting JC Jackson on the trade market, you could get a whole lot more than just basically Greenlaw and Jimmy Garoppolo in return.
Yeah, but I think that the sentiment here is what Rashawn's really talking about. Like, obviously the JC Jackson thing, you're
Sure.
right, Mac Jones, but like I think that's the sort of sentiment, right? It's like Jimmy and Greenlaw for a high-end guy and a fourth rounder. I think you do that, 10
If
out
I'm
of
the 49ers, I do that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But my question is, do the Patriots?
Well, no, I think, again, like I said, I think Rashawn's point here is less about the validity of the deal to the Patriots, but this is the outline of how you can acquire a high-end guy. And I think that's really what Rashawn is saying. I could be wrong, but,
There is some 1-year players, or excuse me, players at the end of their deal that I would see if they're available. If that is the route, it's what's his name in the New York Giants, Bradbury, cornerback. If you do want to
he
go
might
on
be
that
cut.
route, he's a 1-year guy. Bradbury, go see what he actually was someone that I didn't think would be too big of a splash signing. I was like, okay, mainly because it was New York Giants. I was like,
And
okay,
I thought they paid him too much, but that was wrong.
yeah,
He
I
was
was like,
great.
okay, the New York Giants are just going to be the New York Giants again. They're just throwing out this insane bag of money. No way he's going to, keep up to the play level. He actually did. And he's on a 1-year deal. I don't think if you are the Giants and you want to be, competitive as much as possible, and you can go out and get a Jimmy Garoppolo because Daniel Jones stinks. It is what it is. The potential's there, but he stinks. The guy fumbles more than Jimmy Garoppolo, and Jimmy Garoppolo would fumble a lot.
Wow.
So it's if you could go get a Jimmy Garoppolo, keep you in there competitive. I think you have a chance to at least make some noise within the division, not the NFC, but make some noise within your own division. Yeah, Alex Smith was able to make noise. Basically, a statue version of Alex Smith was able to make noise for the Washington football team. So why can't Jimmy Garoppolo go do the same thing for the Giants? Like, their defense isn't that bad. Yeah, they'll take a big hit with Bradbury, but you're taking a bigger leap with the Jimmy Garoppolo over a Daniel Jones. And plus, Daniel Jones has his injury history as well. And you're able to, if you trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, you're keeping Daniel Jones. If Jimmy Garoppolo does have to miss time, guess what? You have Daniel Jones that could step in. So you have that backup spot solidified if that is a concern. But that's a player I would look at that's on a 1-year deal. And let's talk about something other than quarterback. Nate has a great question in here. Why give up Greenlaw though? Having 3 studs at linebacker is an advantage in my opinion.
Well, I think that it's because the reputation that Greenlaw has across the league, and he's been injured 2 straight years. Largely what he did last year, again, I get killed for this all the time. Wasn't as impressive as 2019. Took some bad routes. Again, this year it was on tape while he did play in a little time, run fits. But I think his reputation across the league is that he's better than Azeez Al-Shaair, and I don't subscribe to that. I do not subscribe to that. I don't. But you need to cash in on the reputation now at this point, right? You're not wrong for wanting to have guys that you can rely on, which is what Greenlaw is. In no way am I saying that Dre Greenlaw is a bad player. He is not a bad player. He's taken significant steps back, though. 2020 it happened. 2021, it started to happen in the first Detroit Lions game. There's plenty of film where he's in the wrong gap. Even Fred Warner's coming over to him after the play, after a long run. Like, dude, all you had to do was stand in your gap. But when you notice Azeez Al-Shaair, he's around the ball. He's under the pile. He's making plays. He's a guy who, once he was able to play, and I understand his play tapered off at the end of the year, particularly in the NFC Championship game, but his arm was like a breadstick at that point. Like, he was just like trying to play through it, and he tried his best. Dre Greenlaw got hurt again in the NFC Championship game. So right now, who would you say across the league, forget 49er fans, you guys know, across the league, who would you say, well, this team needs to pay Azeez Al-Shaair or Dre Greenlaw? They'd probably say Greenlaw. Should you pay Greenlaw over Azeez Al-Shaair? No, not right now. Not in my opinion. So, again, restricted free agent, Azeez Al-Shaair, Dre Greenlaw, who's going to want money and not be a restricted free agent. You got to kind of cash in his value now before the more you play, the more the deficiencies show. So that's just where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I agree because at the end of the day, you're not going to pay all 3. Could you try to cash in his last year under contract at a cheap rate, yeah, you can go do that instead of trying to go get draft capital now. But the thing is, you're not going to get much in a comp pick in return if he does go out and sign somewhere else, if any comp pick in return. If you could go ahead and get a fourth out of Drake Greenlaw, I don't think that's overstepping too much saying a fourth for Drake Greenlaw. Yeah, that you improve on your investment because you spent a 5th round pick on him. So you're basically 110%, 120% above investment. If you could get a fourth for Drake Greenlaw, if someone wants to call in and go ahead and make that happen, sure. Yeah, I think you make that deal at the end of the day because your third linebacker anyways is probably going to play about 20% of the snaps. So would you rather hold on to someone who's going to play 20% of the snaps, injury concerns, not going to be a part of the team in the future, or potentially a 4th round pick that whether he makes it or not, that's 4 years of service that you have for that 4th round pick. You're basically hitting a reset on that button, and that could be at whatever position. You could hit the reset on that button, whether it's a corner that you selected, a safety, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, linebacker. You get what I'm saying. I kind of like the opportunity to go ahead and hit that reset. But yeah, you're paying one of these guys. I don't expect both of them to walk. Absolutely not. But I do expect them to retain Al-Shaair for the next 3 to 4 years. I know the NFL window is kind of shorter than we assume sometimes. But yeah, if there's going to be a linebacker duo for the next 3 to 4 years, it's going to be Al-Shaair and Fred Warner. And I think the team knows that because you saw them favor Al-Shaair at times when they were all three healthy this season. Now, it was relatively short time that they were all healthy this season, but yeah, those are. Oh God, no! I'm not trading Armstead. No. I see why that would be trendy because the dude doesn't show up on the stat sheet sometimes. But he's a hell of a run defender. We saw when he got kicked inside full time, basically what he did, and dude, playoff Armstead was a big deal for this team. That's part of the reason why they reached the NFC Championship game.
Right, and I think a lot of people are scared off because his cap hit jumps exponentially this year.
Yeah.
But again, they factored all that in. So it's not like the 49ers woke up today and said, wait a minute, you mean we owe Armstead this much money? What are we doing here, man? Oh my God, who signed this deal? No, it's not like that. So they've got that factored in.
I'm just going through some of the comments here.
Yeah, you're good. I gotta kick out in a little bit too because it's getting ready for sleepy time for my young lady. So, But shout out to everybody that's in here. If you're in here, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, Leo's channel, nice, and make sure you hit that notification bell. We're gonna keep giving you content, and Leo, let's talk about something fun.
All right, let's do it. We're 54 minutes in. We can do it.
I got invited to the combine today, man.
Okay. That's huge. That's huge. Because what a year for you, man.
What a year for us. Forget all that. For us, for Goldmine. I got it under Goldmine. I didn't just get it because I said, yo, I'm Jason Aponte and I wear Ren and Stimpy shirts. I had to put an organization in front of it, bro. And that's us. All of us.
That is
all
us.
of us, man.
For some of you that may not know, what is 49ers Goldmine? So 49ers Goldmine is something we put together, myself, Javier Vega, the Fourth and Gold podcast, Jason, and a few other of us, put our heads together and said, let's create one platform for all of us to go ahead and utilize and get our voices out there. And that's where we created 49ers Goldmine. And that platform was able to get us to the Senior Bowl last season. It got Jason to the Senior Bowl this season. And now he's taking it another level, going to the NFL Combine. Who are you most excited about? Because I know you're a full into mock draft, whether you post them or not. I only post about 1% of my mock drafts. So I'm sure you're about the same. Who's someone that has you excited that you basically want to interview and basically see in person in the cut?
I can't wait to talk to every single punter and kicker there so I can evaluate.
Stop, man.
But you draft a punter or a kicker, they sit a year. Isn't that how it works? They have to sit for a whole year. Like, all right, no, seriously.
Jesus.
Three guys that I really want to talk to. Cole Strange, who, if you guys haven't, go check out the 4th and Goal podcast that Hobby did with him, because he's a fit for center as well too. So I'm at the Senior Bowl. Jalen Petrie, I want to talk to, and I want to talk to Arnold Ebukadi. I want to make sure that I want to talk to. I mean, I know that he's not going to be in the 49ers range, but I want to talk to Perion Winfrey, man, again, because he became like my favorite player in that entire time with his energy and everything. So, but those are the guys that I'm looking at for fits for the 49ers in some form. Doesn't have to be the first pick. The first pick I feel like should go to either Petrie or Ebukadi, but I think Cole Strange needs to be on their roster because a little birdie told us that 3 teams asked him to play center in the Senior Bowl. One of those teams,
49ers.
San Francisco 49ers.
Los 49ers.
So trust me, they're looking at him too.
I have not seen Devin Tompkins from Utah State at all. See, that's my problem with wide receiver, because I've played wide receiver. I've also played corner. Is I see some wide receivers and I'm just like, damn, that dude is dope. There's so many dope wide receivers. A lot of it depends what team you go into. Are you getting an opportunity to make it? Does your mind shift change when you come to, because a lot of it's mental, injuries, so availability with all that. There is a guy you saw at the Senior Bowl out of Rutgers.
Mm-hmm. I forget his name too.
Yeah, it's very something very short. But yeah, he's very shifty off the line. There's so many wide receivers. Hey, I remember last year I told you Amari Rogers, practice player, right? What are you doing?
Couldn't crack the team.
What do you do in Green Bay?
Nothing.
So sometimes I know what I'm saying. Not every situation is a DJ Reed where I get blasted. Sometimes I know what I'm saying.
Sometimes you get it right.
Sometimes. Jalen
Let's go,
Petrie.
Joey.
Oh my God, that's
the
yes.
Petrie game. Hive.
Petrie.
The hive is buzzing.
For people that haven't seen Jalen Petrie at all, just give them an elevator pitch on why they should want Jalen Petrie on this team.
Exactly what you want from Tart, right? The versatility, playing up close to the line and in coverage, but he had 18 and a half tackles for loss and he caused 5 turnovers. So all of your complaints about Tart would be alleviated right there. If, those weren't my complaints, but if you're looking for your upgrade, here's the hot take. Jalen Petrie starts immediately over Talanoa Hufanga, and you don't even think twice about that. Hufanga becomes a backup, or you use him in some sort of linebacker will role, keep him closer to the line. But Petrie's better than him right now.
That's my thing. You trade Dre Greenlaw. That opens up a potential Sam position, where he's closer to the line of scrimmage. That could be Hufanga. We've seen this team already do that with Marcel Harris, and Marcel Harris wasn't bad. He obviously, is not the best out there. First year in switching to linebacker, but he wasn't a liability. How about that? He wasn't a liability out there, and I don't think Hufanga would be a liability either if you put him close to the line. Now we're looking at it was Bo Melton.
Yeah.
There you go. It was Bo Melton, the wide receiver from Rutgers.
Shout out to our fans.
That I like.
The people in the chat, they're smarter than us, man. And this is why y'all could never talk crazy to 49ers fans, bro. Ever.
I know. And I'm just that's what I mean by like we had a few Bo Meltons. Like I'm out here struggling, and then these guys like Sauce Gardner, yeah, but he ain't gonna be available.
Nope, he's going pretty early. Unless the 49ers need to jump into the top 10. Hey, Washington Commanders, for the small amount of your 11th pick in the draft, you could have a winner who would bring you back to glory. And then we could talk about Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, it's I mean, we could all dream, right? Like we could all dream and think about it and throw our crazy scenarios out there. Sure, yeah, that's fine. But hey, I just don't see Sauce Gardner happening. Any last thoughts that you want to get out of here?
No, I just wanted to throw that out there. Shout out to everybody who's in here who watched the video. Make sure you like my channel, Leo's channel as well. Follow us both on Twitter. Hit that notification bell, and for the people that are tapped in on my channel, consider joining the Spicy Squad, where there's a little join button right there by the video, and you'll get your emojis, you'll get your comments pushed to the top as a member. Just another way for you guys to interact, and just a new way that I want to show love to you guys and everything. So yeah, man, fun episode, a lot coming this week. Yep. But next week I'll be live and direct from Indianapolis, and it should be a lot of fun, man.
Hey, I'll be out there with you in spirit. When is Leo's channel going to be in color? I think I'm in color.
It's because you're wearing black and gray and the gray. It's true. That's a really good point, and that's really funny. Whoever said that, yeah,
black writing on the wall. Wow.
I ain't gonna lie. Leo's getting cooked.
Wow. Wow. First DJ Reed. Now camp etiquette for dummies.
It's been a tough few weeks. Leo.
What a tough episode. Hey, still love all of you guys. Thank you for joining the chat. We had a pleasure today. We'll see you next Tuesday.